Welcome back to the adventures in repairing and maintaining a Husqvarna HU625AWD all-wheel drive push mower for a self-propelled mower. Well, we're going to replace the belt, and we're also going to replace one of these pulleys, which is damaged. And the first thing that we've got to do is take this cover off. Now, if you saw my other video, you've seen that I've done an extensive repair for all kinds of oil leaks on this Briggs & Stratton motor. And I put the cover back on just to show you how you would see it in its native state, so to speak. Of course, I've taken the blade off. So in order to get this covering off to get at the belt, we need to take a 1/2-inch socket, and we need to take that nut off. And then there are 2 small screws in the top of this thing. They're here and here, and let me just make sure I've got that in the shot, and I do. So now we need to take those 2 screws out, and that's not the right socket. Maybe it's this one. Not the right socket. It is. And this size is 8mm. These are plastic screws, they're not bolts. And now that plastic part is free. Now the other thing that we're going to need to do is take this off. Now I've already got this thing unscrewed. It's just being held in place by a little knobby there, so pop that off. There's one side of the bracket. There's a little retainer on here, which I can find my screwdriver. Back a little bit. Okay, so the belt is free up top. Let's turn this thing on its side again. By the way, I will point out, obviously the gas tank is off because I've been doing the other repairs, and also there's no oil in the engine right now. Okay, so plastic covers off, set that aside, and so now here we have the pulley system. It's this pulley that we need to replace. It's damaged. We'll see that in a second. Now over here we have the other side of the drive mechanism with a pulley, and this one is a little bit trickier to get the belt off because it also has retainers on either side of the pulley to prevent the pulley from coming off. And so I'm going to try and cheat here and pry those retainers back while I work the pulley, the belt around it, and see if that works, because I really don't want to take this all off. And so there's a small tab here, and it looks like if this plastic piece comes off, in which there are nuts or screws probably in either side here, and also screws holding on in the back. I don't want to wrestle with that if I can avoid it. So I'm going to just try, and let me see if I can show you this. The tabs I'm referring to There's one, and the other one, I don't know if you can see it in that light, but where the screwdriver is pointing is the other one on the other side, and I'm going to attempt to pry them back enough to free up the belt so that I can then swap it out. All right, let's give this a whirl. I got it. And now the other side. Bigger screwdriver for the other side. Sorry about that. Nice old ratty. Okay. It's free. Now, I'm assuming that's not the proper procedure. Those retainers are bolted in up top. You can remove them if you can turn this thing with this plastic piece out of the way. I'm assuming that's the correct procedure, but again, I don't have the manual on this. Perhaps it can be found online, and certainly there are no other videos that I could find on this particular model, all-wheel drive vintage, that talks about how to replace this wonderful belt. So I'm kind of winging it, as they say. So here's my new belt. It is what's the part number? I don't know if it's focusing. 580364-603 Husqvarna belt J6340. Okay, so and we'll keep this old belt as a spare. I think what I want to do is I want to get the belt around this pulley first. So let's do that. Okay, there's the inside. Almost. Come on. There we go. Sway down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to follow this route around. So it goes under this top pulley, which we're about to pull off, and through the hole to the pulley on the other side, and then it goes down and around again. I think we're going to have to remove that one to get it to loop around these tabs, but that's okay. We can deal with that. And nope, that's not the right size. Is it 1/2 inch still? Nope. Yep. 7/16 socket. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that pulley is definitely damaged. So we have a new one. And here it is. Part number 587973001, Husqvarna Pulley J5-665.1. And so we will swap that out like so. I'm not going to tighten it just yet in case we get ourselves into trouble. But I will. Okay. Now, with that, this one comes off pretty easily, and this we will route immediately in its place. And so now this one we have to take off because it's not going to, the belt is not going to get past those tabs. Save that belt as an emergency spare just in case. Oop. Like that. And let's put this through this hole. And just double check. Looks right to me. At least based on the way the other belt was oriented. This is the first time I have changed this belt, and this is a might as well kind of a thing, since I've had to take this mower apart so extensively. And the other belt, although I did clean it up, was soaked in oil. So figured, what the heck. Might as well replace it. Okay, those are tight. Let's put the cover back on that we set aside. And this might be a bit premature if we have problems getting the belt on, if it's too tight. There we go. There's my bolt. Let's take this thing over again so that we can didn't quite leak. And that does feel better. It's more tension than it was before. Okay, so we need to put our 2 screws back in over here. Let's clean up the mess. Don't want to over tighten these since they're just screwed into plastic. Now, as far as this cover goes, there are these 2 tabs that hold it on, but there are also 2 screws on either side out here that we're going to want to put back to keep this from getting exposed to the grass and whatnot. Although I will say that when I took this thing off, there was a tremendous amount of grass all compacted into the void here, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I suppose every once in a while, that's another maintenance tip, that you got to take that off and clean it up. Excuse me, got hiccups. And so screw hole and screw hole up here in this corner. And these are weird looking screws. These are the screws that hold that plastic part down, and they are what size? They're not 8mm, that's for sure. They're larger. And I'm sure I've got the socket on this bench. Yep, I do. 3/8. Okay. So there you are. Again, you got to be careful with this plastic stuff that you don't over tighten and strip out the plastic. Though of course there are ways to deal with that if you do. But okay. And now, since we're here, we're going to put the blade back on. And this is what size now? Sorry. And whatchamacallit thing here. blade, which I have already sharpened and balanced. Well, I didn't balance it, I just made sure it was in balance, and it was. And now we tighten. Now, of course, we don't want to hold on to our sharpened thing in case there's any sudden movement. So, and here, I like to just double check because this is a light duty impact wrench. And just double check and make sure that it is tight. And it is. Okay, so there you have it. We have a replaced belt, a replaced pulley, and a reinstalled blade. And all we have to do now is finish putting the motor back together and put some fuel and oil into this thing and test it to see if it actually will run and not leak oil all over the place, which our previous testing indicated that the alumaloy solution is holding for now. As I've said in the other video, we shall see if it holds up under vibration. So gas tank needs to be reinstalled, and the cover needs to be put back on, and the air cleaner needs to be put back on. I'd like to have a new air cleaner, but I don't have one handy, so I probably am not going to wait for that and just go with what I have, at least to get the initial running. And I will I guess I'll be back. Well, there's no reason why we can't continue the video while we put this stuff back on, right? The gas tank is over here, and it is empty, although it's also very dirty. So these two tabs go up on this shroud. Like so. And we've got 3 screws for the cover. I think that I took the cover off. It shouldn't matter, right? Whether I put the cover on first or the air cleaner on first, I think it doesn't matter. So we will try the cover, which is also over here. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping into the camera. And let's check Where's my air cleaner? There it is. No, doesn't look like that needs to be on first. So, oh, that was 3/8. Too big. And that was 8mm, just right. Just making sure that the pulley engaged, and it does. Put the screws in already. Okay, clear goes back on. There are 4 nuts here. The black nuts go on the outboard, the silver nuts go inboard. Oh, of course, they're different size. God forbid they should be the same size. And those inners are 7mm. That's all right. That's a fairly relaxed fit. There it is. These don't have to be super tight, just snug. It is all just a piece of crummy plastic. Oh, of course, we must switch sides back to an 8mm. And one more. And I'll put the cruddy air filter on here. Okay, that's on. Here's the oil soaked air filter. The reason that I changed the breather reed, though I don't, my recollection is when I first bought this thing that the air filter did not stain like that. I'm not 100% sure that this isn't normal. It doesn't look normal to me, so that's what I'm going with, my instincts. Okay. Put the cover on. Now what we have to do is we have to straighten out this, the handlebar, put the puller back where it belongs, and then put gasoline and oil into it. And for that, I am going to turn the camera off and wrestle this thing off my workbench. It's not super heavy, nor is it super light. And then once I've got the oil in, I'm going to let it sit for a few hours. Just to make doubly sure that the sump is not leaking. It would certainly be a heartbreaker if it does leak. If it does not show any signs of leaking after sitting for a couple hours with the oil sump full, then I will put gas in it and give it a try. And we need to put that spring clip back. Maybe these pliers will fit. Okay, we've got the gas line clamped. And that's it. So it'll be a second or two for you. It'll be a few hours at least for me before we take this to the final phase and see if this sucker actually runs. Fingers crossed. Mine certainly are. Alrighty then. I'm gonna put gas in it. I'll put oil in it. And now let's see if it'll turn over. I'd say that's a yes. So let's get it off this board since it was lifting up. Let me just move the camera for a second. Wow, self-propelled feels really good. Very tight, very responsive, unlike before. Which makes sense since the other belt was both worn and soaked with oil. So now let's see how long this repair lasts. In terms of the crankcase brazing job, but we'll see if it holds up, eh? Maybe long enough for me to save a few bucks to buy a ride-on mower for my half acre of God's world. But yeah, I'm pleased as punch considering how completely disassembled, or not completely, but the fact that I've had the crankcase off. The carburetor I did remove, but I put back on. You didn't see that. There was nothing wrong with the carburetor. The air cleaner, the gas tank, and the drive parts that I had to remove. And it runs. It rolls. Kind of amazing. Surprised. Okay, well, it's going to be probably another month or so, maybe more, before the grass comes back to life in this neck of the world, so it'll have to wait for its first official cut, but that's okay. At least I've got a lawnmower, so that's cool. All right, thank you all for watching. See you later. Bye.